Prayer and religion in the public school system. According to Austin Klein, an agnostic expert in one of the biggest Supreme Court cases ever having to do with church and state decisions, the case of Engel versus Patel in 1962 ruled 7-1 that it was unconstitutional to require prayer in public schools. One of the biggest controversies we have heard about over the past few years is prayers and even religion being present in public schools across America. People become offended and don't think that schools should even have to state the Pledge of Allegiance. I can remember the year I was in high school where the law saying kids couldn't read the Bible in school was gotten rid of. It was not a huge change, but I remember some of my friends bringing their Bibles to school and reading them the next day. I understand not everyone is Christian and doesn't believe in God, but that does not mean that prayer in public schools shouldn't be allowed. If you don't want to say one nation under God, we respect that, but respect those that choose to pray. So what's the problem? A story from the Beaumont Enterprise says that in 2013, cheerleaders in Beaumont, Texas made a run-through banner for their football team that said, "If God is with us, who can stand against us?" This sparked a lot of media attention and even made it to a courtroom. Why did this issue make it as far as a courtroom? Why are young girls having to defend something this nation is built on? Since this is becoming an issue, we need more people educated. I believe that the policy of prayer being required in schools and should not be a policy. But I also believe that prayer should not be banned from schools. It needs to be an option. If you want to pray, then pray. If you don't, then don't. People should have a right to express their beliefs how they want. So what are some facts about religion in school? According to an article by Americans United, over 90% of the children in America attend public schools, and of those kids, there are many, many different religions and beliefs involved. Kids are very impressionable throughout all of their lower schooling. They need to know they have the option to express their beliefs however they want. They shouldn't be told how to express their beliefs, and they shouldn't be told they can't express their beliefs. So what are some arguments against prayer being allowed in school? Many people make the argument of separation of church and state, but my response to that is freedom of speech and freedom of religion. People should be able to express their beliefs whenever and wherever they want, as long as they're not being hugely disruptive. The people from freedom of religion believe that public schools exist to educate, not proselytize. Children in public schools are a captive audience. Making prayer an official part of the school day is coercive and invasive. What 5, 8, or 10-year-old could view prayers recited as part of class routine as voluntary? Religion is private and schools are public, so it is appropriate that the two should not mix. To introduce religion in our public schools builds walls between children who may not have been aware of religious differences before. This may be true, but you should not tell your children they cannot pray in school either. It is just as bad as forcing them to pray in school. Beliefs are too big a part of most people's lives to tell them that they cannot talk about it whenever they want to. For example, all students have the right to say a blessing before eating a meal. However, school officials must not promote or encourage a student's personal prayer. Students may engage with other students in religious activity during non-curricular periods as long as the activity is not coercive or disruptive. From the Anti-Defamation League. This is how prayer in public schools needs to be across the country. People should be allowed to express how they feel. All About History says that the U.S. Supreme Court has replaced freedom of religion, guaranteed by the Constitution, for freedom from religion. To ban school prayer diminishes the religious freedom of students who would like to pray and forces them to act according to the dictates of a non-religious minority. Let kids in public schools express how they feel and what they believe in their own way. Do not tell them how to think or feel. Let them explore and figure out what they think and feel about life. A belief system is a huge part of most people's lives. You can't force that onto someone or tell someone not to think it.